Hello everyone, this is Carmeet, and it's been a year since I was on Linux. Last year, in the end, I had switched to NixOS for the first time and I was really enjoying it. So, this year, it's the summer now, so I don't really need Windows for exams. I'm dual booting this time because I don't want to have to reinstall everything the moment the summer's done. It's just extra work. This time I'm dual booting NixOS and Windows, and I got back to NixOS, and I think I discovered what might truly be the end game of Linux right now, because it's not it's not Arch Linux, it's not Hyperland, it's NixOS and Niri, and I'm using Noctalia-Shell because I don't wanna use maintain configs for Waybar and Rofi and all that. It's just extra stuff. Besides, Noctalia-Shell and Niri are actually fairly lightweight. I know this sounds crazy, but they're actually lightweight. If you look at my system resources over here, and this is with OBS running, by the way. I have 2.2 gigabytes of RAM being used right now. This just shows you how lightweight this is. It feels kind of weird to say this, but it's to like previously I was using NeoVim and then I switched to Helix because Helix was just way smoother and better to use. I feel like this current Niri setup which I'm using is to Hyperland what Helix was to the LazyVim configuration, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just better built, and it's lighter and faster and all that. Now I'm gonna go, firstly I'm just gonna show you my fetch. I'm not using fast fetch anymore. I found this cool tool called Aerofill Fetch, which has a animated ASCII logo. It's pretty sick. Yeah. So I have got some of my things are still the same. I think it's better if I go into my config.nix. One thing I do not actually have the same files, the configuration.nix and the hardware-configuration.nix in the etc/nixos directory anymore. Instead, I have everything in a flake in my home directory, and I may have a git repo for that because it's better for reproducibility and everything. So with that said, I'm first gonna go to my flake.nix because that's sort of like the main file, not the main file, but like has the most config. That's the starter file where the first link happens. And over here you can see in my inputs I have aerofill-fetch. I have Freezim launcher, which is like it's like Prism launcher, Minecraft launcher, but it doesn't require a Minecraft account, which means that it's freer in the way that's more open source. Also, I don't have to pay money to play Minecraft. Make of that what you will. I like it a lot. You have stylix, which is a theme thing. It's actually really good. I'm gonna explain this later on. You have Niri, my window manager. You don't need to get Niri from a flake, but if you get it with this flake, you're able to configure it using a home manager module rather than using the KDL config.kdl thing. I have Noctalia-Shell over here and auto-CPU frequency. This is configures my CPU frequency based on what I'm doing, and it makes it as low or as high as needed. So the point of this is just to give me better battery life. That's it. Okay. And then over here my first module is /carmeet/config.nix. I'm gonna walk you through my nix-carmeet. So over here, this is where all my Nix stuff is. As you can see, it's on the Git repo. Now over here I have a license, a readme. It's a simple MIT license. You don't need to see the flake.log. In the readme, I mean, I just have like some simple setup commands. Let's go into carmeet. That's where everything is. Now over here I have config.nix, hardware.nix, and home.nix. Hardware.nix is like the hardware configuration.nix, and config.nix is like configuration.nix. Okay. So I did restructure it a bit and change some stuff here and there. So as usual, I have a fast boot. It has no time. It removes all the previous entries, boot entries and everything. Hostname carmeet-pc, blah blah blah. I have ly now instead of gdm. I didn't set it up to have an animation or vim bindings yet. No vim bindings because I found that it's actually faster without vim bindings, because you don't have to press I and then type your password in the numpad. Instead, you can just like instantly type the password and then log in. It's just one less key press. It's faster, so I do not have the vim bindings for ly anymore. As for animations, I really don't care. It looks good enough without it. It's simple. It just does what it needs to do. I view power, X server, login D, blah blah blah. This is so that like when I close my laptop lid, it automatically opens a lock screen and stuff. Printing, UDisk, GVFS, all the printing stuff and file stuff. Pipewire. This is just sort of stuff you kind of need to have. Okay, over here in the experimental features, I have flakes and nix-command. I'll be very frank, I don't really use nix-command much. It's mostly the flake part which I actually use. I have auto-optimize store. It automatically collects garbage, like every 5 days it automatically deletes some of my older Nixos boot entries which I'm not using. Okay, so over here I have the Niri package. I'm not using the unstable one for this because when I tried to get the Niri flake thing working on unstable, it didn't work. It had there was one dependency that wouldn't work properly. I forgot what it was, but anyway, I just changed it to the stable one and it worked perfectly. I have all the other apps, Starship, Fish. This is all the stuff that's properly configured in my home.nix, which I'm gonna go through later on. Bluetooth stuff. These are some of my permissions and stuff. Okay. I said these because I saw that Niri had some problems with app environments, like it wouldn't open them properly. A good example of this was Arduino IDE. Right now when I run this, I'm waiting for it to load. Yeah, I mean right now it works fairly well. But previously when I didn't have these set up, actually I don't think this helped much, but in my I'm kind of going ahead of myself here, but I set the proper desktop entry for Arduino IDE and processing, which is like a Java GUI thingy related to that Arduino. Basically it executes this app on a Java backend thing, which I don't really understand. I honestly just vibe coded this part because I just wanted it to work at that point. Anyhow, These are some of my apps. Uh, Trash as CLI, that's very important. I have my code stuff. Helix, obviously, my text editor of choice. Python packages and libraries, OpenJDK, UV, Clang. Because I started C programming recently. I even have some of that stuff in my Git repos. Uh, I have Arduino and processing, Raylib. I didn't use Raylib yet. I'm planning to use it soon. I have Clang. I used to use GCC as my main compiler. These days I use Clang. But it's still useful to have GCC apparently because it's like the standard or something. I don't know. I also don't use VS Code for code editing anymore because I don't know why. Like the other languages, Python and Java were perfectly fine on VS Code, but I couldn't set it up to use my compiler for some reason. I don't know. VS Code was just tweaking, so I just stopped using it on Nixos and just use Helix and just compile it by myself on the terminal. These are some LSPs so that it can like correct my mistakes on Helix. Uh, I actually don't need much of this now because most of these are just configured in Nix. So I really need nil and some of these, but I might be able to remove some of these. Anyhow, these are some of my services. Cade and Live is not a service. This should be in the app section. But I honestly don't care. Actually, fine. Okay, so yeah, these are some of my services. So wget, git, bluez, stuff like that. Over here in Niri, I have player CTL. That's for the media keys. Wire plumber, that's a sound thing. JQ, I don't know what else. GTK4, that's a theme thing, but you kind of need it. QT6, that's also a theme thing. I forgot what PC is. Ghost TTY. I used to use Kitty, if you remember. Uh, Ghosty is also a pretty good terminal. I honestly don't really see much of a difference, except that my configuration is simpler with Ghosty. It just has saner defaults. Uh, as you all know, I would rather switch applications if the config for that application is simpler from scratch, because it's just less stuff for me to maintain. libnotify, you kind of need that. Clipboard, Bibata cursors. You can see my Bibata cursor is pretty tough. Freezem launcher, I have it from my flake. Calculator, that's the document reader. GIMP, Shotwell is like a picture viewer. Cheese is a camera. I just have it. Sometimes I take pictures for ChatGPT, uh, like home math homework and stuff. When I don't have my phone around, so I need a camera for that. OBS Studio, well, I'm recording this on OBS Studio right now. Proton VPN, I need that for my game. Google Chrome, VLC. Yeah, I quit using Firefox because on my phone I saw that YouTube was acting kind of weird. Like, I mean, it was usable, it was perfectly usable, but whenever I press the settings button on a video, you need to change the playback speed. So you click on the settings button, and um, that wasn't working properly unless I made it like vertical again, and it was kind of annoying. So I stopped using Firefox for YouTube. I switched to the YouTube Revamps Manager. Uh, if my browser will open, yeah. Um, yeah, this thing, which is okay. So far, it's been loading way more than normal YouTube, so I'm gonna have to fix that eventually. Anyhow, so I mean, it's also the fact because I have to use Google Chrome for school because I have to log into my school account, and I thought I may as well just have one browser. I know Google Chrome's a bit of a sus browser to run on in Linux, but I don't really give a crap. It's my laptop. I do whatever I want. I have VLC, Discord, Zap. That's for WhatsApp. Lingot. It's a guitar tuner. Kinlive, Scanner, SuperTux card. FileZilla. I don't need FileZilla anymore. I never use it. Don't think it's extra. Only Office. It's a pretty good. Oh, my MS Word replacement. MS Office replacement. These are my fonts. This is my like standard app font, and this is my monospace one. These are for emojis. Okay, so over here I have some theme stuff, and this is really good. So previously I showed in my flake.nix I have stylix. Stylix is probably one of the best Nix flakes. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. It's really easy to theme your entire desktop using this. Like right now, Noctalia is using stylix. Even like my file explorer, even actually if you focus, even Google Chrome is actually using stylix, because when I now try to edit the theme over here, it doesn't work. It says it's set by your organization. Basically, I can't modify it because it's a read-only file right now, because stylix is modifying the looks for Chrome. Stylix is awesome for theming. Like I just changed these lines, whenever I want to change the theme on my laptop, I just change this part, and then the whole system theme, almost the whole system theme. There were some things which didn't work very well, so I had to change those separately, but it's just btop and helix, if you want to know. Those are the only things which I have to change separately, and Noctalia-Shell, but that's optional. For now I set Noctalia-Shell to just use stylix, so I don't even have to do that. So yeah, that's my config.nix. I also have my hardware.nix, which is basically the one from scratch. Like I didn't change this much. You're not supposed to edit it much anyways. I just made it like a module thing, and that's it. Okay, let's move on. Home.nix. I don't have much stuff in here because I mostly just keep it for imports and some simple configs which aren't worth using another file for. I have my ghosty terminal config over here. It's very simple. I'm just picking the font, which I don't even think I need to do it from here. Actually, I mean, I'm doing it from here anyways. It doesn't matter. Confirm close. I enabled this because before this, whenever I was running a process in Ghosty and I would quit the terminal, it would always give me like a "Are you sure you want to close this window?" type of menu thing, and I found that kind of annoying, so I just kept it in here. Font size 12. I'm enabling Noctalia. Btop. Oh, my only setting is that I'm changing the theme. That's it. And obviously I'm making it disabled for Niri and btop. And these are my imports. Okay, let's go through these one by one. So firstly, as you can see, I made all of these .nix files. I don't have any configs which are actually like normal config folders. I do not have to go into my .config folder anymore. All of my system configs, everything I could possibly do with my system, is in the nix-carmeet folder. Now inside my fish.nix, which is the configuration for my shell, fish, it's fairly simple. I just have this stuff, trash CLI, because I don't think it comes with RM by scratch. Make dir LA nix build, because it's kind of tedious to type this whole thing. So I just type nix build, nix free space, go trash, tinstall, and nix upgrade. Although I'll be clear, I barely use nix upgrade. Usually I just do nix flake update and then nix build. Whatever. I have my fish greeting over here so that I forgot what this was for. Oh, I think this is so that it doesn't have the message like this is the fish. I don't know. I remember the fish shell coming with a default message. Uh, yeah, like when you install fish for the first time, it always comes with like a message. I can't find pictures of it for some reason. Hmm. But yeah, if you know, you know. So anyway, I don't want it to have that obviously, so I just disable it. I have Starship over here because you know it has a pretty cool prompt. It has a pretty cool prompt. Okay, so that's fish. Let's go to XDG test stuff. Uh, so this is fairly complicated. I'll be honest. I use ChatGPT for most of this. Gotta change this Libre because I'm not using LibreOffice anymore. Uh, hang on. I'm editing comments on the spot. Okay. Uh, actually, these can go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the desktop entry for Arduino because you know it wasn't running properly if I didn't have this on. Uh, this is my processing app. It was the same thing. It's all Electron apps I think, on Niri. It's only a Niri problem. In Hyperland it was working perfectly, by the way. Uh, this is a kitty thing. Previously it would all either open it in Xterm. Yeah, like if I didn't have this port and I wanted to open an app in Kitty from say Nautilus, because I don't want a GUI text editor. Helix is the only one I actually use, so I basically had to edit the desktop files for uh, Helix so that rather than opening Helix, it opens this, which I should actually change to Ghosty because I forgot that I don't actually use Kitty anymore. That's actually a problem. Uh, I'm pretty sure it's just Ghosty dash E, Ghost TTY, right? I'm just gonna verify this. Ghost TTY dash E Helix. Yeah. If I just do this. Something's weird. If I do a percentage F, I'm actually not sure why this isn't working. Yeah, I gave up. I'm gonna fix this later on. Don't worry. You guys won't face these problems. Hang on. Oh, there's a space. Yeah, I give up. I'm gonna do this later on. Anyhow, so my default browser is Google Chrome, not Firefox. I'm using Helix for all my coding stuff. Only Office, as you can see, VLC for all my video stuff. So that's XDG. Now I'm gonna show my helix.nix, which is actually fairly simple. Honestly, most of the Slammer stuff is redundant. I just keep it because so over here I have the theme. This is one of the few things that I actually override the stylix because it doesn't work. So I make it one darker. I really like the one dark color scheme. I think it fits really well with the average wallpaper and it's also really good on my eyes. It's dark. This is so that it uses my clipboard properly. I forgot what this is for. Oh, I think this is like a word wrap thing. And then these are my cursor shapes, so I can actually see which mode I'm on from my cursor itself. It's also really nice to see. I don't even remember. I forgot that Helix had a file picker. I'll be perfectly honest, but I won't use it anyway. It has a search Anyways, it has a search function at startups, so I don't need it. And there's like some formatting stuff for various coding languages. Okay, so this is my arrow fill fetch. Fetch.nix. It's fairly simple. I actually really found this program interesting because like fast fetch is fairly simple, and then you have arrow fill fetch, which is just spectacular to look at. I mean, it even like modifies the size. I wonder how long it took for arrow fill to areofill, not arrow. I keep saying arrow. I wonder how long it took for the guy to make this. Like, this is pretty cool. This ASCII animation. I heard you could also change the characters to blocks and other stuff that that was there in the GitHub. So it's cool. Anyhow, I'll stop gooning to the arrow fill. I set the speed to 1. I think it's good enough. Okay, let's go on to Niri. This is like the biggest one. This will actually take a while to explain. Yeah. Okay, so at startup I have Noctalia-Shell obviously, and the pull kit. This is so I can open my Windows partition. Over here, it auto mounts it because actually I already tried to open it previously, so it's already logged in. But you need a pull kit agent so that it asks you the Windows password, and then lets you actually log into it. I have this prefer no CSD. I think that was CSD stands for client side declarations, if I'm not wrong. So basically, sometimes you'd have like title bars for random apps, and it was just kind of weird. So I just disabled it because I'm using a tiling window manager anyway. I don't need those. I forgot what this is. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Input. I set reverse scrolling, natural scrolling, because no one uses the touchpad without that. Let's be real. I forgot what DWT is. Oh, drag without tapping. I think it's something to do with dragging probably. I might be wrong. I forgot what it is. Anyhow, this is to ensure that I'm not I have like a constant acceleration, because I really hate it when my mouse acceleration is like weird. Over here I have the layout stuff. There's 10 caps, and I think this is big enough to be aesthetically pleasing, but it's not compromise. I'm not compromising too much functionality. The border's just 4 pixels big. Again, it's aesthetically pleasing, functional. It's not too big, too small, whatever. The color, this is blue. As you can see, it's blue for the node color, for the one dark color scheme, and the inactive one is supposed to be black. It's just black, like for the one dark color scheme. Again, same for the background color. This doesn't really matter because I'm not using the background for Niri anyways. I'm just using Noctalia-Shell and making that handle all of this. Over here I have the I'm setting the column width and length height for Noctalia, because you have to do that separately. You need to have this clip to geometry line, because otherwise the borders will look funky. Like, even if you have the apps, you have the window to have a rounded border, but if you do not have clip to geometry, then the border will be straight no matter what. So you need to have this line. I forgot what this draw border with background line stands for. I honestly forgot. Anyhow, mod return. I used to have super plus T as the keybind to start my terminal, because it's just really fast. I can do it with one hand, but I don't open my terminal as much as I used to anymore, so I just do it this way. It's the standard anyways. Mod escapes for btop. It's using the one dark color scheme. I set this separately from the home.nix if you remember. Mod dash tab. That's for overview. I'll be honest, I use the overview very less. I'm just not used to it. I came from Hyperland which didn't have one, so I'm just not used to using an overview. This is for Helix. You've seen me use this keybind very frequently in this video. Mod dash B is for Google Chrome. Mod dash E is Nautilus. Mod dash R is to reload this Niri config file, but I very rarely have to use this because most of the time it reloads it automatically whenever I save this, but for the few instances when it doesn't do that, this command has come into clutch because I'm not typing this whole thing in the terminal. Mod dash D, as I replaced the Rofi, Waybar, Sway, and C, all of that with Noctalia-Shell. It's one program which does all of that perfectly. So this is my app launcher. One thing that I do miss is my previous file searcher. Like there is a plugin for Noctalia-Shell which lets you search your files, but it wouldn't open them properly. Even though I set the XDG MIME types and stuff for many file types, it just wouldn't work properly on that. So I just kind of like gave up. Like it was half-assed, in the way that it only worked with some files and it didn't work for all of them. And I'm just not going to use something with partial functionality. So I just gave up on it. I'm not using that anymore. I'm not using Rofi just for file searching. So I just don't have file searching anymore. I know where all my files are anyways. Mod comma. So it's like a settings for Noctalia. Control delete, that's the I used to have Control P previously if you remember. I can select one of those. These are the audio keys and the media keys. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how my Niri works. Okay, so how window management works on Niri. So this is a scrolling window manager as compared to a tiling window manager, which Hyperland was. The first window manager layout I was ever experienced to was the dwindle one on Hyperland, and that had a lot of potential I could see, but the problem is that I'm on a laptop. It's a simple HD screen. I don't need to have too many windows on the screen visible at all times. It just doesn't work properly because a window keeps getting smaller and smaller to the point that it's unusable. That's actually why I'd switched to the master layout, the master stack layout, because at least with that layout, one window is always going to remain really big. My master stack, it's always going to be as really big, but that's also kind of half-assed. Niri solves all of that because I can open as many windows as I want. They're all full-sized. If I want to split screen anything, I have a keybind Windows F. It just toggles between my preset column widths of 0.5 and 10. Obviously, I can also change the width using Windows Shift and then H and L, and it just adds or subtracts 10 to the width. I also have a way to I can like expel, or I forgot what the word is. Basically, I'm shifting this across columns, and this works a bit differently than you'd expect it to. In Hyperland, it's fairly easy. You're just moving it across, but in Niri, your scrolling thing, it's basically divided into columns, and you can choose it to swap between each column, or you can make it like tile, so that you have like a stack of two windows in one column. But the thing is that if when I'm doing this, I don't really need the swap column, because when I'm like exiting a column to this side, it's automatically becoming full sized again. So I'm kind of getting the functionality of both keybinds with just one action. So I don't need the swap column functionality, which is why I removed it from the Niri config. Uh, yeah. So I don't have that anymore. If you're wondering, the keybinds control for and H, and shift is for changing the size. I don't have anything for alt anymore. Oh yeah, and if you don't have control or shift modifiers, then you're just changing the focus between the windows. I'm using Vim keybinds because, Helix. I really like Helix. Okay. When super Q for quitting apps, obviously. Btop, Helix, yeah. You can see that those are how a lot of my Niri keybinds work. That's how Niri works. It's a very interesting window manager. I think that if you're on a laptop, you should definitely try this out, because I think it's a very smart layout to use. Because if you're using a tiling window manager, it's really good the first time you switch from a floating window manager, but a window can only get so small before it's unusable. That's the main problem with tiling window managers, but I face no such problem on Niri, because I can just open as many windows as I want. But it also makes workspaces a bit more redundant, because, I don't need to use as many workspaces. I still have 10, but right now I have OBS, and even then I'm only using 2. So yeah, that's Niri. The last thing I'm gonna show you today is Noctalia. Noctalia is like back then, last year when I was using tiling window managers, I didn't know you could get something like this without having a program like ML4W settings, or like one of those you would, if you get like a pre-configured hyperland setup like ML4Ws or IDEs. I'm pretty sure there's settings menus for stuff, but they're, rather than settings menus, a lot of them are simply rofi like menus where you can just change some things here and there. It's just a bit half-assed. This is way more powerful. I think Celestia-Shell and, by the same token, Noctalia-Shell were probably there back then. I just didn't know about it. Uh, they're all based on the Qt shell, I think. No, sorry, Quick Shell framework. And I personally, I think Noctalia is better because they sort of rewrote the whole thing in C++ instead of Python, so it's obviously faster. And I know it's C++ as a matter of fact, because when it was installing it was compiling it. Noctalia is really good. I actually have no complaints with it so far, like, except for the file search plugin not working properly. But again, that's a plugin, it's not a built-in Noctalia feature. But yeah, except for that, I really have no problems with this. And it's way easier than having to configure Waybar every time you just want to change the theme. Like, I can change my theme in the snap of a finger right now of my laptop. It's so fast thanks to stylix and Noctalia. I love this setup. It's like the end game of Linux, if I'm gonna be honest, because I don't need Arch Linux anymore, and I don't need Hyperland or any of that, because Neri's just better. on a laptop. It's smarter to use. And yeah, I sort of just explained my whole setup now. I spent like 2 weeks slowly, gradually building up to this, and I'm really happy with my current setup. How long has this video been? 40 minutes. Holy, I yapped a bunch, but it's a fairly complicated setup if you let me just. But yeah, I'm just gonna end the video with one Nix build because I did change some stuff from my configuration, I think. And you guys can see how that works. I just typed Nix build, and because I don't want to have to type the whole flake whatever command that was. That's why aliases exist. So now it's just I don't even remember what I changed in the configuration. I remember I did something during the video. So yeah, this is how Nix build works. It's really chill. Everything got quiet all of a sudden. Oh yeah, I didn't show you the Noctalia control center. It's this. Also, I'm not using a separate wallpaper daemon. I'm just using the Noctalia one. And it opens all my wallpapers in this folder. This really is the end game of Linux because there's just so few configurations to maintain right now. And it's better than Grovebox because it really fits my cursor, and Grovebox is really good, but it's a bit more opinionated. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like rare. Grovebox doesn't work with all of the standard programs, but OneDark really fits the aesthetic of those. If you know what I mean, like, you know, it's just dark and blue. It's sort of like the Windows aesthetic almost in a way. It's just because a lot of apps and programs are built around that, so it's just better. Yeah, I think this video's gone for long enough. I think we can quit now. I'll just show you how I edit my Git stuff. Oh wait, my bad. Bruh, how will I make a commit message if I don't even remember what I changed? I think it was something to do with XDG. It was, yeah, I changed the KD entry change. Okay, yes, push. Okay, let's just quickly see if this works. Let's be safe. I don't remember if .log files. Yeah, .py files are included. Perfect. It works. Okay, that's my that's the end game of Linux right here. Yeah, how can you get my setup? It's really simple. I'm gonna show you really quickly. So you just go into GitHub, and I have a few more projects here, but that's not important. This is the one which you wanna go into. This link over here. I'm gonna paste this link in the description if you want my files. And yeah, this is my these are all my configs. I really love Nixos. It's just so easy to reproduce. All you need is this. Obviously you'll have to change the hardware.nix, but yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching this video with me today. See ya.